I can Athletic go head to head with a $50 billion multinational company, let alone multiple of them, who are relatively focused on what we're doing? It's because all of them sell over 300 SKUs for the most part, and their focus is so distracted. They have a lot of different priorities. And when their salespeople walk into a store, they have, non-alcoholic beer might be their 57th priority. When an athletic brewing teammate walks into a store, we have one priority. I
So,
tend to be a big time optimist by nature. John and I have hit a lot of problems along the road. We really like to run at our biggest problems. Usually if something is the scariest thing on our to-do list or the biggest problem, it probably means we should be addressing it first and going right at it. And so we've made a lot of very tough decisions, but in that, like no matter how tough days are, like I'm a major optimist, and if you approach things with a positive mindset, you know, I I generally think all great things are done by people with optimistic outlooks who believe in slightly crazy, improbable things. Like it's really easy to be a pessimist, but as a pessimist, like there is never that really big payoff also.
what were some of those challenges that you ran head on into that looked like insurmountable problems that you figured out a way around or figured out how to solve?
I mean, they're basically daily and almost still to this day. I'd say one of our toughest moments was like really early on after we finished building the brewery and launched and procured a bunch of ingredients. Like we did not have much money left over as a company, and we were running very lean. And we had gathered our first national shipment on our first full truckload order. Most of our orders had been single pallet orders, where a full truckload is 21 pallets. And so we'd been making all these small orders in our first summer on the market. And we had our first full truckload order about ready to go out, which was a big deal for us. Um, like way more than a normal month of revenue. And John kind of grabbed me in the brewery as I was walking through, and he's like, I just don't feel great about this batch. He's like, there are things I want to do differently. And he's like, I know what the fix is. It's going to take some time, but I think we got to destroy this beer. And so we made that tough quality decision. We didn't think it was our best product. We didn't want to put it out to the world. And we destroyed a very expensive truckload of finished beer and disappointed that retailer in a big way. But I think at the end of the day, it sent the right message to the retailer that when you get a shipment from Athletic Beer, it's going to be our best. It's always going to be our best. And that's something we've tried to live up to with our community ever since. And so that was an example of like a really big challenge.
Did the retailer put you in a penalty box of any sort?
They understood. Yeah, we're just honest with them. We're like, I definitely believe in really good communication.
This show is being brought to you by our sponsor, Trueflation. Professional investors and economists, and probably any casual observers, know that government inflation statistics are only an approximation of what real inflation is. Not only that, but the government has a conflict of interest because high inflation can be so damaging to the economy, the deficit, and our $34 trillion in debt. Trueflation collects over 13 million pricing data points. Most are updated daily to reveal inflation with precision for asset managers, governments, companies, and the general public. Check them out at trueflation.com.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it depends a little bit. Sometimes the customer will get angry and then down the road, 3, 6, 9 months, the relationship is stronger. Turn the lemon into lemonade. Pay attention.
Yeah, at the same time, it was not only destroying product, but procuring more equipment and everything. So, definitely expensive lessons all along the way in all different forms.
And what are the big challenges now for the next year?
I think as we scale, it's we're going against ever bigger competition. It's staying true to our roots. Staying really community oriented. Our goal is to build a great long-term company, provide great long-term jobs to our teammates, and continue building that way. So really staying true to our roots and staying focused. There's so many shiny objects out there. So I feel like the more we stay focused and do what we're great at, the better we'll be. But on any given day, there's all sorts of things. that are challenging. And, I really like strategic challenges, route to market challenges, things like that, like working through problems with a trade partner, trying to solve their needs. The things that tend to stress me out the most are people challenges. Like I care so much about our teammates and their fulfillment, their opportunity. And so like I definitely feel those more personally from our teammates. But yeah, all in all, not too much tends to keep me up at night. I really run very hard at the day's challenges, work incredibly hard, but I'm a big believer in the head hitting the pillow very heavy at night also.
Absolutely. Well, that's great. I realize that this display that I have, I've been blocking.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Yeah, that's one of my favorites right there.
It is indeed. Me too. Um, well, Bill, it's been so great having you on. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I'm really happy that my audience, hopefully, none of my audience has ever even heard of athletic beer, so that now they can be motivated to go get some. Certainly, that can't possibly be possible because so many
Oh,
people I
thank you
know
so much.
already know it and like it.
Oh,
But I'm so
thank you
glad to
so
have you
much.
on.
Yeah, if
And
anyone wants to try to find it, we have a store finder on our website that's super easy to use to find beer near you. So thank you so much.
that's what I was going to ask. Great. Well, terrific. Well, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
You too. Appreciate you having me on, Bob. Thank you.
Hey, if you like this clip, please hit the subscribe button. You might also want to check out some of the clips I posted with my many other guests. My interviews all address the simple question, how screwed are we? We ask experts about the problems that make Americans so pessimistic today, but we also explore why there's never been a better time to have been born than today. Join us for perspective on today's challenges and opportunities.